Hey team, Lawrence here. Welcome back to another AIRTOC demo. In this final closure phase lesson, we're focusing in on one of the most strategic deliverables in all of project management, the benefits realization plan. Let's go. This is the document that connects your project to actual business value, and it's the perfect way to close the loop with the business as you close out your project. Today, we'll walk you through what the benefits realization plan is, why it's essential, and how project managers use it to validate the success of a project long after it's closed. Then we'll go into a live AIRTOC demonstration so you can see exactly how to generate a benefits realization plan using the Aimpm project management coach. Let's begin. As with every other module, let's start with PMI's definition. According to PMI, a benefits realization plan is a document that specifies the planned activities, timeframes, criteria, and mechanisms required to achieve and sustain the portfolio's programs or project's desired benefits over time. It connects the anticipated benefits to project outputs, program outcomes, and organizational strategic goals. This is cool, but in order to actually draft this plan effectively, there are a few more things that we need to consider. The benefits realization plan is a document that identifies, tracks, and validates the business benefits that a project is intended to deliver. It helps identify when and how those benefits are going to be measured. It assigns ownership for achieving and monitoring those benefits. It establishes methods for collecting and validating those results. And it links project outputs to business outcomes. Essentially, it provides a roadmap for long-term value realization. The key point to remember here is this. Most deliverables that you create measure project performance. The benefits realization plan measures the business performance. Considering this, it must be written for the business, not the project team. The BRP is essential because it confirms whether the project achieved its intended value. It provides leadership with measurable success metrics. It aligns project work with strategic organizational goals. It helps the business sustain value long after the project closes. It ensures that the benefits are not assumed, but they are verified. It assigns accountability for value realization, and it supports future portfolio and investment decisions. One good key metric that project managers judge themselves on is the business impact of their project outcomes. Those who make the greatest impacts on the business are usually the ones who are elevated the fastest within the organization. Always remember this. Projects don't succeed when the schedule is met or the budget is followed. They succeed when the expected benefits actually materialize for the business. Throughout the project lifecycle, and especially during the closure phase, benefits realization plans help project managers and the business leaders do a number of different things. It helps them document the expected business value, determine how those benefits are going to be measured, establish baselines for comparisons, assign benefit owners in the business, confirm operational readiness, validate results after implementation, report on realized versus expected benefits, and inform continuous improvement initiatives over time. The funnel represents how this actually happens. You must start with definitive baselines to measure against, and this is where you tell the number story, the things that went well versus the variances. As the project deliverables are implemented, there will be change. That change must be measured and validated to ensure that it's actually beneficial to the organization and the owners of the products. Once these things are aligned and everyone's aware of their duties to keep the lights on and the bills paid, you can turn over the plan to the business. This is their operational document to carry things forward when you leave the project. And after the project closes, the PM hands off the plan to the benefit owners. Leadership uses the plan to validate outcomes. Operations can use it to monitor performance, and finance can use it to track ROI. It becomes one of the most important documents tying the project to organizational strategy over time. Here's a tip. According to where you may work, most PMs don't produce this document when they go into closure. You can separate yourself as a standout PM in your organization if you're able to produce these plans after every project. So now that you understand the purpose and the value of a benefits realization plan, let's walk through how to create one using the AIRTOC framework. I'll switch over to the live demo and we'll build the prompt together. Let's go. Okay, team, before we dive into the benefits realization plan, there's a few things that we want to make sure you know before we get into the demonstration. Number one, for the sake of time and simplicity, we'll be using simulated minimal data. In real projects, you'll probably have a lot more context to add in to this prompt. Number two, with the simplified data, you'll still see how powerful AIRTOC prompts can be. Remember, The more context you add, the better the output. And number 3, this process applies to every AIRTOC template in the textbook. The workflow is universal and repeatable across all deliverables. Let's dive in. Okay, so as in every demonstration, we start with the outline of what we're going to be showing you guys today. So the first thing you're going to see here is the AIRTOC template, benefits realization plan. Again, these templates can be found in your AIRTOC library, or they can be found in your textbook. Below that, we have a real-world scenario that we're going to use to feed information into the actual prompt that we're going to put into our Aimpm project management coach. Okay, so those are all of the components of the demonstration. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, starting off with the AIRTOC template, you have your benefits realization plan template that you can find in your AIRTOC library or in your textbooks. The framework remains the same. On the left-hand side, you'll have your AI platform, your role, task, and output, as well as your context, which is broken out into 2 areas. Below that, you have AI produces, which gives you an example of what AI should produce once you fill in this prompt. Okay, so let's start back at the top with the AI platform. For this, we're going to use Gemini or ChatGPT. The role is a PMO analyst or finance analyst. The task is to develop a plan to track benefits realization over time. The output is a structured roadmap linking project outcomes to measurable business value. And again, for our inputs for context, we have the high-level inputs, which are our scope, baseline problem and goal, constraints, risks, and stakeholders. Again, this is information that you can probably grab from your charter or other pieces of information where some of this stuff may be housed, like maybe a scope statement. All right. Next, we have our data, which is the benefit data, the performance data, the financial data, and the ownership data. And again, for every template we have, we try to guide you on the inputs that you need to make sure you capture in order to make this prompt really work for you. So these are things like ROI targets, KPIs, the original business case, delivery outcomes, etc. Once you add this context in, your prompt's going to be a lot better. So let's go into the scenario to see what this is about. After go live, leadership needed confirmation that the project's promised benefits, cycle time reduction, error reduction, and productivity gains were being tracked and validated against business case targets. Finance required a formal process to verify annual savings, cost avoidance, and ROI progression, especially given the 4-year ROI milestone. The PMO identified gaps in the ongoing KPI visibility, things like cycle time, SLA compliance, adoption rate, raising concerns about whether benefits could be measured consistently across departments. Operations and compliance needed clearly assigned owners responsible for monitoring data quality, audit metrics, and adoption trends post-deployment. Governance directed the PMO analyst and the finance analyst to produce a benefits realization plan to ensure long-term value measurement, reporting cadence, and ownership were locked in beyond project closure. Okay, so that's our scenario, that's our charge. Let's move along to the actual template now. Now, within the template, again, your AI platform and your role, task, and output are going to remain the same. Nothing changes here, but we did add in some additional context. So we have our actual scope of the project, the real baseline problem and goal, our actual constraints, risks, and stakeholders who are involved with this. Next to that, we have our benefit data, right? So some benefit data added in there, our performance data, our financial data, and our ownership data. And again, this data can come from separate documentation, things you can just copy and paste in, or actually upload into the prompt to give the AI more context. So as always, we're just going to copy and paste this prompt into our Aimpm project management coach, and we're going to see what we get. Again, adding no additional context, no additional queries, no additional text to this query. Let's see what we get. All right, it's going to start to draft out a benefit realization plan. All right, workflow automation program, prepared for the CFO, governance board, PMO, finance, operations, IT, and compliance. And the cadence is a quarterly PMO benefit reporting. All right, so what is it breaking out for us? Here we have our purpose and governance position. Number 2 is our benefit inventory and expected outcomes. Okay, and you have the benefit categories, the definitions, baselines, targets, and the source of information. There we have our measurement architecture, right? This breaks this down into a KPI framework for us. Here we have data sources and system dependencies, roles and ownership models, benefit realization timelines, right? So it breaks this out in phases from go live to 90 days, then quarter 1, 2 through 4, and then year 2 through 4. All right, so there's a plan there. Then risk controls and mitigation, reporting structure and governance cadence. We have a sustainment plan. We have a benefit realization dashboard, an approval workflow, and then some appendices here. And as always, AI gives us some options as to what we can do next. So once again, we're able to take the AIRTOC template, put in a minimal amount of information. And again, more context is better, but even with this small amount of information, we're still able to produce a fully realized benefit realization plan. This may require a little bit of iteration, maybe some fixes here and there, but ultimately you have the entire document at your disposal. I can take this, expand on points, and get a lot deeper into this analysis if I really want to. Again, this shows you the power of the AIRTOC template and what you're able to do with a very minimal set of information in terms of a greater deliverable that's maybe 80 to 90% complete. Okay, that does it for this demonstration. Moving on to the next video. We'll see you guys there.